The fact that, I mean, you brought me back and you said that it's the leading political party in
We were
Nigeria.
in power for 16 years.
Okay. If you were in power for 16 years, why does it seem like, as we see today, there are issues within the party? Is it that those that you trained are the ones coming back to haunt the party, or is it that it's a principal issues and, you know, what the founding fathers of the party left behind? Are you still trailing in that path?
First and foremost, when people say there's a crisis in the PDP, it is wrong choice of word.
Okay.
A crisis is a situation where you have reached deadlock.
Okay.
We have a crisis in the River State chapter of PDP.
And not the PDP in its
Not the
entirety.
PDP generally. The PDP is having the same kind of problems that all political parties in the world have, which is to say, how do we move forward? Don't forget, we just came through an election.
Your national.
Two elections where we have lost. So dealing with those issues are what is really confronting the party now at the national level and even blowing over to what is happening in River State. But one of the problems with PDP is that we are not an autocratic kind of party where you have a leader who tells everybody what to do, keeps everybody in line, and everybody is following the principles and policies of the leader. That's the problem with the PDP. It's so democratic to a fault. Everybody is talking. Everybody is a chieftain, you know, so it's difficult.
Is that not in itself a crisis where you cannot seem to find somebody who will coordinate the activities of others? I mean, sometimes when you have a situation where you cannot follow the principles of one person, everybody wants to be a leader, everybody wants to be heard. Is that itself not a crisis?
It's what we are going through in the PDP, what you're experiencing with the PDP is the complexity of the democratic process. If you are a true Democrat, this is what you get. Everybody will talk, people will exert their power, but eventually we will settle down. And things are settling down in the PDP now at the national level. Even in River State, where we've had a crisis, things are settling down. Things are not as bad as people think or say they are. For instance, where you have a situation in River State when the board of trustees of the party, led by Ubara, the chairman of the board of trustees, other leading members of the party or board of trustees have gone to River State to pledge support for the governor of Ubara. You have the governors forum, all the governors. We have about 13 governors in PDP. And so when you say we are one of the opposition, come on. The other party, Labour Party, has 1 or 2 governors. We have 13.
But you are still an opposition.
No, we are opposition, but not one of the opposition. We are the opposition.
Oh, you are the opposition.
Yes.
That's what Labour Party will also say they are the opposition.
Well, they can say so, but they're fooling themselves because what do they have?
Really?
I mean, what's the number? Where's the structure? Where are the people?
Number
Look. National Assembly, PDP has about 42%. Labour has maybe 10%. It's APC and PDP, let's face it. So anyway, we are moving forward. The governors generally support Fubara. BOT support Fubara. National Working Committee, where a lot of people are, some of them are with Fubara. So out of 3, we have 2.5 supporting Fubara.
So where is the other half?
Well, it's part of the process of reconciliation and development. We will get there, but everything can be 100%, but we are working hard at it.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Piers, again, I would backtrack and go back to issues surrounding PDP also finding a leader. Because again, where you have different people coming with different ideas, how do you coordinate all of these ideas and put all of them to work together in favor of the party, again going by the principles of the founding fathers of the PDP? Well,
the principles of the founding fathers is democracy, equal opportunity for everybody. It is only in PDP that you can achieve your ambition as an individual, where you have the talent, you know. So, and that is what we are grappling with. It's not easy to control a situation where you allow people to express themselves. So we are not in disarray because all the structures are in place, the Board of Trustees, the Governors Forum, the National Working Committee. So all of those things are working.
Okay.
We don't have one person. When we have an election and we have a presidential candidate, that person is viewed as the leader of the party, which is unfortunate because the leader of the party should really be the national chairman of the party. But the history of the PDP has been that, you know, from 1999, we were in power for so long, and you know what happens when you've been in power for so long.
You get intoxicated.
You get intoxicated, you get confused, you think, we've had presidents, so many presidents who have taken over the party and appear to be the leader of the party.
So, Dr. Pierce,
So whenever they lose now, for instance, in 2015, once Jonathan lost the election and is no longer president, it's as if, and he was viewed as president and leader of the party. So once he lost and left for his village, it appeared now that we don't have a leader. That's the problem. And that's when other people came in and began to help the party. So that's the problem we've had. We are going to correct it.
Did it really appear that the PDP had no power, or at that time the PDP didn't really have a leader to coordinate all of the activities? Because like you said, you've lost 2 elections back to back. And as we speak, is PDP on that track of finding a balance as to wanting to come back, or is it more about personal interest than the soul of the party?
Well, the issues going on in the party now is that all of us in the party, the National Working Committee, the governors, the Board of Trustees, they are preparing the party to position itself to be able to tell Nigerians the alternative that we have for Nigerians to rescue Nigeria from what is going on now. Everybody knows that we're in a crisis in the country. By the way, when you talk about crisis, it should be the APC administration that you should be calling to come and address the problem of crisis in the country.
But at the moment,
that's where the crisis is.
At the moment, we're looking at the PDP as a
No,
party.
it's okay, we're here. So we are getting ready to position ourselves to help this country rescue Nigeria in 2027. So everything we are doing is to strengthen the party and its democratic processes so that we will be ready to go into an election and present not only a unifying position, but a democratic platform for Nigerians to see that this is what we are, open to suggestions and a contribution from the populace.
Okay. It seemed like we have a couple of people who, of course, left the PDP for other political parties as we have in Nigeria at the moment. And at the moment, just like you said, the party is rallying round again to want to convince Nigerians that you are a formidable force. What's different about the PDP that will make Nigerians think that indeed you are woven in different fabric?
I think all Nigerians have to do, first and foremost, we realize that there is no perfect political party anywhere in the world. It's always a struggle. We can compare our record to the record of the APC. Obasanjo's administration, compare the economy, state of the economy, state of security, state of governance during that period, compare it to now, this APC administration, compare it to Buhari's administration. Take Yar'Adua after him, after Obasanjo, compare his record in every aspect of governance. Take Jonathan's administration, bad as people said it was. Now we know that compared to Buhari, Jonathan is a Mother Teresa. During that period, the president said there will be no political prisoner, nobody will shed blood during his administration. Now what do we have? People come out to protest for their rights. To end bad governance, they're throwing them in jail. They're accusing them, they're charging them for treasonable felony. That's what is going on in this Tinubu's administration. It's a fallacy. It's a crime against humanity.
Let's look at I mean, as we speak, I'm still.
So all Nigerians have to do is to compare.
To compare.
That what we have had in the past in the PDP administrations, compared to Buhari's APC administration, compared to Tinubu's APC administration, you know no matter what the complaint was, score a PDP at 60%, now you score Buhari at 30%, and you score Tinubu at 21%.
Okay, all right. I'm still going to come back to issues of course, the National Working Committee, the convention of the PDP, the party as we speak. Again, how do we resolve all of the issues ahead of 2027? You've talked about the fact that there is the need for Nigerians to, again, compare and contrast and look at which is the best. But as it is, are you really convinced that the PDP is able to solve all of its internal issues as it is at the moment, especially the fact that we do have zones in the party that you also want to represent? All of those issues, are individuals ready to drop their personal ambition now for the oneness of the PDP? Look,
I think what you're probably referring to is what happened to us in 2023, where some people said, according to the zoning formula, if the national chairman comes from the north, the presidency has to come from the south. And that was what happened in 2023 when the G5 came together and said, we will not support this issue where we have the national chairman coming from the north, the candidate coming from the north. That was the problem. Unfortunately, according to the Constitution, which is what people are talking about now, what we have to, once we get that together, once we resolve that issue, PDP has no more other issues but to go and face the Nigerian people and ask them for the support against this current administration. Okay. Now, what happened was, when first we elect the national chairman before the presidential Congress election. So we had a national chairman from the north. And the national chairman from the north, Dr. Ayu, said that if, it's on record, if a northerner emerges as the presidential candidate of the party, he will step down. Atiku Abubakar emerged as the president, and he did not step down. Ayu refused to step down. And that was the crux of the matter. Okay. So how we are going to resolve it now, I have said it, well, I think the leaders realize now that it's not good enough for somebody to say, I will step down.
And then renege on.
They will renege. It's very likely. So the best thing is now to have it documented, have it in writing, so that it can go to court if need be, so that they can be compelled to keep their promise. Once we have that done, we don't have a problem. If we elect, if we decide at the next convention that the national chairman is going to come from the north, then we know that
the candidate or the presidential candidate may not come from the north.
May not come. But you know, we also...
But there are dynamics. There are dynamics in politics. And so how does the party also intend to follow in that lead? Because again, all of these things are not cast in stone.
It is true, but the sentiment now seems to be in both parties that this north-south, exchange that once HES is there, the other one must come here. We do it in the party, by the way, with the appointed positions, the national chairman, the national secretary, the organizing secretary, all of them, and their deputies. If one session in 4 years, they come from the north, they will reverse and they will come from the south. That's what we do in the party now.
It's an internal
arrangement. And it's very democratic, and it's been working all along. It is only this business of the position of the national chairman and the presidency. That's the problem. The PDP does not want to appear that it is zoning some people, some zones out of the presidential.
Okay.
And that's where the problem comes.
Right.
But now we have realized that once we don't zone, and you allow everybody to contest the presidential, which we've always done,
Okay.
when people say they zone the presidency, I don't see. We've always allowed everybody to run. That means he was not zoned.
Okay.
Now, once before the presidential, we already had the national chairmanship election. Whatever emerges from there will determine what will happen with the presidential. So we don't have that conflict anymore.
Because I was going to ask that are there lessons, of course, that the party could have learned from what happened in 2023?
Yes, that's a big lesson.
And so it's a big lesson. But again, these are lessons that oftentimes can also change as things also come to play. Are you looking forward to an amendment of the party's constitution to also fit in all of these new ideas that may emerge?
I believe that an amendment is essential, necessary. You have to have an amendment to the Constitution so that these loopholes, by the way, you know, in any situation, you have to always have, you have to be ready to amend,
right,
to make suggestions, to improve situations, and we have to amend the national constitution also. The 1999 Constitution is a military constitution. It's not working, and it has to be amended so that we can have a devolution of powers and so on, what we call restructuring.
I was actually asking about the constitution of the party. I didn't know parties also have their own constitution.
Yeah. The party's constitution has to be amended to reflect some of the things I'm saying now. Right. And I believe Chief Showmi has said it several times, the things that need to be amended in the Constitution. We have to review the Constitution regularly.
All right, so we've talked about, of course, the PDP, especially at the federal level, national level, and some of those things. Let's delve into the Lagos People's Democratic Party. Every state usually have their own arm of these political parties. In Lagos here, is the People's Democratic Party still alive?
Well, the party is alive and well. We lost the 2023 election like we never lost before. I must confess that it was a shock. We had 5% for the governorship candidate and 6% for the presidential candidate. Don't forget that in 2019, the same Atiku Abubakar who got 6% now in 2023 got 42%
in Lagos.
In Lagos. And in the governorship candidate in 2019 got the lowest we ever got. Agbaje got 21%. So we never had it so bad. There were some mistakes made, leading to the primaries of the party. If you remember what was happening in APC before that election, where they were contending parties, they wanted to take over, they wanted to push Tinubu aside, and if they had not resolved that then, the governorship, the president, it would have been a big mess. Unfortunately for us, we did not resolve our own problems.
So
that is what happened, because the primaries was totally polluted. You know, somebody had control of all the delegates.
In the PDP?
In the PDP. So once that person chose the delegates, he chose people that would bring him into office. And unfortunately, he was somebody who had just come to the party. So everything was a mess. There was a dislocation in the PDP Lagos State in 2023.
Dr. Pierce, again, this brings me to the fact that they always say that politics is local. And so you must have a full grasp of your locality to be able to have a full sway of what goes on within your political party. And so if we look at the PDP in Lagos and some of the antecedents of the party before the last election, again, it will take me back to issues affecting leadership and you know, the control of how you're also able to lead your delegates as well as the people who are in the
last election.
But we got the PDP. I mean, it's vice versa.
No,
like
no,
you
no,
say,
no, no, no,
your
no.
party has trained a lot of people.
Well, but they're not in the party anymore.
Oh,
you
they've
know, the
left
most
the party.
dangerous people in politics are double agents.
No, okay.
People who are in your party in the day and at night, they're somewhere else.
It happens both ways.
Well, Tinubu has been very successful, more than most people, in getting that done. In Lagos State, our party has been infiltrated. We've got to work on that. We're working on it. That's why we're trying to reset Lagos.
I mean,
Secondly,
okay,
we are making sure now the mistakes we made and the lessons we've learned,
right.
that somebody who's coming into the party 6 months before election, 9 months before election, cannot or should not be trusted with the ticket, the structure, especially the head of the party, which is the governorship ticket. We've learned that now.
Okay.
So then we've also learned that what we did in 2015 to win 6 House of Reps seats, to win 40% or so for governor, to win 8 Lagos State Assembly seats, at one point to win about 21 councillors in Lagos, PDP. We must go back to that formula,
Okay.
and we are going to do it. One of the errors we made in 2015 was that, 2023 was that we abandoned our non-indigent members. We didn't realize quickly enough. I must confess, I did my best to let them know at the national that in Lagos State, PDP, without the Igbo vote, we're in trouble.
Okay.
And we just lost the Igbo vote. Some of it was because we didn't move on time to secure our people who were members of PDP, but some of it was also, unfortunately, the development of the Labour Party and Peter Obi. So we lost a lot of our support, and we lost our morale in the process, and that's why we lost so badly.
Dr. Pierre, are you not a lone voice in the wilderness concerning the soul of the PDP? Does every member of your party have the same zeal that you have concerning reviving the soul of the PDP in Lagos?
Well, I told you that the party has been infiltrated, so we have some so-called leaders now, but we have, you see, 2023 was a blessing in disguise. We got so low that we can only come up now.
Right.
We've learned that I'm not the only voice,
Okay.
but amongst the leaders, people, you see, the members of the party, I'm talking about the generality of our membership, like 70% of the members are fully on board with this new plan that we're talking about.
Okay.
To revive the party, reset the party, bring it into winning ways. Even if we cannot win governor, we can win what we won before, House of Reps, we can win 1 Senate seat.
Okay.
So this is what we are going to do now to begin to reposition the PDP in Lagos so that we can become strong and we can present an alternative to Lagosians to what we are going through now.
So with the state of the party, do you think that your members have trust in the party?
We are building the trust. We're building the trust because the more you bring about these changes, these amendments, the realization, now we have people, the members of the party, understand what happened in 2023. They know who is to be trusted in the party and who not to be trusted in the party.
Okay.
Believe you me, most of the people you know as leaders in the party are no longer respected as leaders in the party, and people will not support them. A new leadership is coming. People realize it. I think we are going to have a more robust, a more progressive, and a stronger PDP in Lagos State.
Before we allow you go this morning, let's look generally at the role of political parties in governance. Is it just about election, or is there more to what political parties should stand for in every community? Irrespective of being PDP,
Sure,
APC,
sure,
Labour,
sure.
parties generally.
You know, if you know what you stand for, you will know what you are prepared to fight for. The corruption of the system in the country has allowed miscreants, people without integrity, people who do not intend to serve, to get into governance, because money has been too influential in our politics. It is important, however, for the voting public to realize that they should take time to listen carefully, to study what the politicians is saying before he gets into office. He man says it's about me. When he gets into office, it's going to be about him. Simple as that. Okay. Listen carefully. But also, one of the things that is terribly wrong with our system is the electoral process. Okay. The Nigerians, I tell people everywhere, I lived in the US for 25 years and practiced politics. They even ran for office. Nigerians are very good people. Okay. The system we have is the corrupt system. That's the problem. This last election, 2023, people say, yeah, it's your fault. You voted for Tinubu. I said, nobody voted for Tinubu. What happened was INEC gave him the election. 31% of the votes came in and INEC declared. Okay. INEC must be totally reformed. All right. Without that, even 2027 now, how can the president, it's not just Tinubu. That is true. This, you know, you told me to talk about these politics without party intention. That's what I'm telling you. If the president is the one appointing the INEC chairman, if the president is the one appointing the INEC commissioners, then we don't have a credible election. Right. So we cannot have a credible INEC. Irrespective of the party that is in office, you think that this is something that should not happen? There should be a reform now. INEC. Okay. It should be a reform. If we don't reform INEC, I think we're just wasting our time. Okay. Because Yakubu is just doing the bidding of the president. In favor of the APC because it was an about the states that you also won as governors. They were also given that on a platter of gold. No. What I'm saying is, what's the difference about that? No. Well, some states was won by APC, some won by PDP. That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about the presidential election. You're particular about the presidential election. No. That's where the problem is. Okay. And by the way, it's not only, you're right, it's not only the presidential. For instance, there are other situations. Whatever is wrong is wrong. For instance, what's his name? Akpabio. The man should be in the FCC detention. And he's the Senate president. He didn't even run for Senate. And he's a senator. Let's leave that for now. So that's INEC corruption. Let's come back to the issue of the PDP. Again, we would quickly wrap up this conversation this morning by looking at, there's the formation of the Reconciliation and Disciplinary Committees of the PDP. What does this intend to achieve? Well, the disciplinary intends to instill in the members that anti-party activity is not acceptable. Those who have been involved in anti-party activity in the past should realize, because this is what the national chairman is saying, that we're not going to penalize everybody for what they did in 2023. But the disciplinary committee is to say, from now on, you cannot continue to work against the party. You cannot continue to speak against the party. You cannot continue to steal party funds. Okay. And that is what that is about, to instill discipline and order, respect for law and order within the party. The reconciliation is to talk to members.
Some of them who could have left your party.
Both those who have left and those who are inside and who are angry, who are not happy, who are fighting each other in the party, reconcile. Let us work together. Let us understand our differences, resolve to work together, that nobody is perfect. You have problems, I have problems, you've done wrong, I've done wrong. Let us forget those problems and work together for the benefit not only of the party, but to present an alternative to Nigerians for better governance.
Is that yielding any results?
We're working on it. It's using results. That's why people like me are out here talking. So we're working on it. The process is ongoing. The process is ongoing. Both the disciplinary committee and the reconciliation committee, they're going all over the country. They're working. And Lagos State has set up both disciplinary committee, reconciliation committee, also finance committee, of which I'm the chairman.
All right, before we let you go finally today on the program, let's quickly talk about why would young people want to choose PDP as a political party to join, especially for those who are young and would like to choose a political party, especially with all of these happening. Is there anything that PDP has to offer?
Well, first of all, you know, I'm a teacher, lifelong educator. Don't talk about young people as if they are some monolithic group, as if all young people are honest. Young people should realize that politics is not about making money. Politics is not about a grandiose lifestyle. Don't admire people who are using politics to embezzle and to defraud. Come into politics to serve. That's number one. Number two, if you have to choose a political party, choose the one that has potential to give you an opportunity to express yourself, to contribute in a way, not a party that is run by autocrats. That is why the PDP is certainly a better choice for anybody who wants to come into politics and have a future in politics.
We'll have to leave it here this morning. Thank you so much, Dr. Adetokunbo Pierce, Public Affairs Analyst, Convener, Reset Lagos PDP. Thank you so much for coming on the program today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
All right, that's the much we'll take on this segment of the conversation today. We'll take a quick break and the program returns shortly.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.